are live, Alex.
Hello.
We managed. Okay, sorry everyone, whoever is watching. This is the first time we are doing a live, so there is a test posted on the page. Let's wait to see if, before we start, if we have someone joining us. Yeah, I think this is a learning curve as always. There's always something wrong with technology, but yeah, we are here, and yeah, we are going to start. I think we will start by introducing ourselves. Alex, do you want to start?
I'm Alex,
I am Andrea, and we are
Team A&A.
Yeah, and today we are streaming live for Team Autism, fundraising for the National Autistic Society. So we thought that we would have just an informal conversation to share our lived experiences with myself being a parent or a mother of an autistic 8-year-old girl, and
with myself being autistic and being an ambassador for the National Autistic Society.
Yeah, we are both very passionate about raising awareness and understanding and making the world a better place for autistic young people and adults. So, yeah, Alex, shall we start by telling everyone how we met?
So, in September, I attended Reg Boner event with my mum. It was a neurodiversity day, and I met Andrea at the event.
Yeah,
and we got talking, and I was invited on to do Neurodiverse Voices podcast, and I went on and did a podcast.
Yeah, and we stayed connected since then. So there was I was at the Ranboga event to connect with other people. It was a day about celebrating neurodiversity. And then we realized as well that Alex's mom knew my daughter because she had worked in the school she goes to. So we instantly connected. And yeah, Alex was interviewed for the Neurodiverse Voices podcast, and you can check it out on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. But we will find out more about both our journeys. So, do you want to start sharing a bit more about your journey, and then we'll go on to me?
So, my personal connection with autism. So, I've got autism myself. I was diagnosed at the age of 5, and I'm an ambassador for the National Autistic Society. Growing up with autism, that's how I've known life. And life for me has been, I see autism as a positive in life, and there's been lots of things that I've faced along the way, barriers and challenges, which I will talk about during this live.
Yeah, you are true inspiration. I said this many times every time I talk about Alex and his interview, because you've been through a lot, and you're here thriving, and it's going to be great to hear more about that later. So yeah, from my point of view, as I said, I have an 8-year-old autistic daughter. The word autism was known to me before, but I knew very little about it. I feel quite ignorant until we started suspecting that she would be autistic. But I really feel that I just learned so much with her, being her mom every day. it's now one of my passions to learn more and support not only the autistic community, but also the neurodivergent community in any way possible. So yeah, and we have many challenges, as Alex said. So I think the challenges as a parent most of the times is not with my daughter per se, but mostly with the society and the world that doesn't seem to be fully prepared. Things like there's many things that I would like to change or to be improved. One of them, yeah, being society and how autistic people are looked at and perceived. But yeah, Alex, there's no one better than Alex with his own lived experience to tell us about
Thank,
it.
yeah, thanks. So, my experience as an autistic person. So, growing up as a young child, I was different. I struggled with food textures. I struggled with noise. I struggled with socializing as well. Found it that bit harder to socialize with people in school. Um, Education was. I went to mainstream school. Education was tough for me, and then I went to. I ended up going to secondary school, mainstream secondary school, college, and then obviously getting a job has been tough, but trying to find the right employer who understands autism is
Not easy.
one. It's not easy.
Yeah, but that's I think when you have the right support at home, despite all the systems that are involved in raising any child, the right support at home is very very important. Um, in terms of you mentioned that you struggled, for example, with making friends and social life in school. Common myths. What do you feel like people thought about autism that is not really the reality?
So people think that autistic people are all the same, which in reality, when you've met one autistic person, you've only met one autistic
Yeah,
person.
yeah, and that yeah, I think from my point of view, one of the things I people ask me is, "Oh, what are your daughter's special interest or focus or obsession?" Because the word obsession is still out there, even though it can have quite a negative connotation. And she has several special interests, and they change over time. But the other thing that you notice is that normally people think that the special interest is going to be on trains or dinosaurs, which it's more like a boy's interest, not a girl's interest, which also shows that thankfully now there's more research and we understand that autism is not specific to boys. But yeah, it's until very recently, girls are able to and women are able to mask their traits a lot better, and therefore it was thought that boys autism could only occur in boys. So yeah. So we were talking also about early support, and I think you are a great example of that now at the age of 22. And I feel like with my daughter is the same, but we know that in many cases more than we would like it to happen, early diagnosis is not the case. So people wait years, and children wait years to have a diagnosis, and therefore this will have an impact on the other systems like education. So what do you feel about
So
this?
the late diagnosis, so people getting late diagnoses, they tend to mask to try and fit in, and by fitting in, they'll do things with their friendship groups. They'll self medicate, whether that's alcohol, and they'll sadly go down that route to fit in with a group of friends because they don't realise that they've got autism. So
Yeah.
that's the impact of having a late diagnosis.
Yeah, and masking can be exhausting, and it's not really good for anyone because you always have this. You're always trying to people please and phoning, which is not great because eventually the impact is going to be on yourself. And Alex, in terms of barriers, um, within the several systems like education, healthcare, employment, what would you say has been the biggest barrier for you?
Biggest barrier for me has been employment,
Hmm.
finding an employer that understands autism, but the and getting a job was hard because there's not many employers that understand it very well. But at the moment, I'm working for the council, and they're really understanding of autism. They they're really good with me. They they've made reasonable adjustments, and this has been brilliant for me. This has been brilliant for me, and I'm really enjoying things with the council. And they want me to become a champion for them.
That's amazing.
So it's really been positive.
Yeah, that's good. And more, I think we start seeing this with many employers looking to educate themselves and being open to reasonable adjustments. Although there's still quite a lot of more work to be done. Yeah, I think from my perspective, as I said earlier, we were quite lucky because we had early interventions, since nursery. So our pathway for with my daughter for a diagnosis and the HCP started quite early. However, I know of too many cases more than they should exist when that's not the case. So it would actually be good. Yeah, I don't know how. I feel sometimes that we overcomplicate the systems too much. Maybe that's my very efficient operational and processes backgrounds, but there should be more. What's the word? More linking and synergy, especially between the education and the healthcare system, because you, as a parent, very often you go to your GP, you speak with the educational psychologist, you speak with this all of these different people, and you have to repeat yourself, which can be quite tiring on the top of everything else, and not to even mention the mainstream versus the specialist schools, that there's not enough specialist schools, and many neurodivergent children and young people might not fit one or the other, and then this creates a problem because there are years and years of waiting while young people are trying to understand themselves and struggling, and the families go through all of it. So yeah, I think there's a lot that needs to change. And the other thing I would like to be changed is society and things like, the media doesn't really help. I just saw a headline, I don't know if it was from today or from the Daily Mail, saying that dyslexia doesn't exist and it's just a multi-billion industry now. And I've seen similar headlines about autism and ADHD. And I feel like this is it infuriates me to see these kind of headlines because society is
So
consuming this kind of news and they are ill informed, and then you go to the supermarket with your child, and your child might be having a meltdown because they might be overwhelmed, and everyone is just staring at you with those judgment eyes of you are a very bad parent. So yeah, this is one of the things I'm really passionate about because it happened to me many times. it happened to me back home as well, and yeah, so it seems to be common, at least in some areas of Europe. So yeah, and why does advocacy matter? Why are you so passionate about advocating for autism?
I'm really passionate about advocating for autism because I have autism myself, and by raising that awareness, it helps people understand autism and what it is, and if there's people who are struggling with autism, it's it's really good to kind of be that voice for people as well. I really enjoy being a voice for them. And when I was when I was younger, my parents were advocates. So since I've grown older, I've then stepped up to the plate of being an advocate and being that voice. So
Yeah, because now you can advocate for yourself, and that's the beauty of having the right support at home and the right
yes,
parents. Yeah, advocating for you. Yeah, and for me, yeah, I just became really passionate about all of this, all due to my daughter, and yeah, I try to use my voice through the different channels and platforms that are available to me in order to, yeah, doing it for my daughter, but also for the community and for other parents who might yeah, go through the same struggle, which, as I said earlier, it's more than we hoped or we wished it would be. And this leads us to community and support. So what, how do you feel about your I know that you have a really good group of friends,
yes.
so
So community wise, so community space. So there's more and more sensory spaces being added to places. So I go to football, I go to zoos, I go to theme parks, I go to music festivals. There's sensory spaces have been added to all of these places, and it's really good to see that because people have got a place to go if they're needing to take a moment out of the place
yeah.
where they are. So it's really good to see that, and I think that's it makes it better for the community that there's more of these places opening up in public spaces. Um, and then my friendship group, they're really supportive. Some of them have got autism, some have got ADHD, so they're really supportive and they help me through it. It's been great having a support network like this. Also, my parents are really supportive, and I've also got a girlfriend who's really supportive. I've been with for just over 4.5 years, and she's really supportive of autism. So it's really good to have that network around you.
Yeah, when you find your tribe, yeah, it really makes a difference, and I can say the same. Yeah, at the beginning of the journey, I would feel quite lonely, and I do appreciate all my best friends who and my family who, who are very supportive. But having now created my own support group locally and having met amazing, fantastic other parents, I just yeah, I just feel a lot more confident. And because when we talk about it, there's no judgment and there is understanding, because even if each journey is unique and very individual, there are plenty of similarities. So yeah, I'm truly grateful for everyone who joined me in the past 2 years, and especially to my last Friday of the month, which I call the best Friday of the month group, who meets in Avin for the coffee mornings, that are now in collaboration as well with Autism Champions, who are also very helpful to me, and yeah, very very grateful. And in terms of professionals, anyone that has passed through your journey who has
Yes.
marked
So
you? Yeah.
yes. So when I was younger, I went to this lady in London, and she helped with techniques to desensitize me to things. So, for example, if there were foods which I didn't like,
Mhm.
if there were sounds I didn't like, I learned all these techniques which helped it helped desensitize me to the things that I was struggling with, and there were things I wasn't allowed. For example, I wasn't allowed chocolate, and I wasn't allowed orange squash.
That must have been horrible not being allowed chocolate.
And I used to have to listen to I used to have to listen to music, which was really calming, and it helped with some of the sensory things that I
Yeah.
struggled with. So it was really good.
Yeah, that's amazing. We all need someone like that. I think from my side, I just mentioned Autism Champions, but I actually want to mention D because there are two things that there's many things that I learned from them and D in specific, but one of them is that speech is not the only form of communication. With my daughter having a speech and language delay, sometimes it's quite difficult because you kind of need to go around a little bit, and you wish that you would have a crystal ball and you could read her mind, which is not the case. But yeah, I just after this barrier was gone, I feel a lot more confident to understand her and to better support her. And the other thing I forgot. I know I had two things, but yeah. So I'm extremely grateful to the and the autism champions who are professionals and also yeah very very supportive. So today we are fundraising for the National Autistic Society, and yeah, so why is fundraising so important, and how can people help?
So fundraising is really important because the funds help families with autism
Mhm.
and supporting those families, and it's really it's really key to fundraise. And it also helps with education and training. So it's a really positive thing. And initiatives like Team Autism are great because it raises even more awareness of autism because we're talking about it now. So it's at the minute it's raising lots of awareness. So
Yeah, yeah.
we're very grateful for the donations.
Yeah, yeah, very much. It's the second time I'm fundraising for the National Autistic Society. I've done the 5 mile walk last year. But yeah, my April is going to be a bit crazy. So that's why we decided to do it in March. But it's actually, yeah, really good experience. And yeah, it's really good to have a National Autistic Society who advocates and makes positive changes. So we are very pleased to be fundraising for them. And I think just to end, we wanted to share a bit of our hobbies and interests. So, Alex, how do you actually what brings you joy and what helps with your well-being?
So I I go to watch Reading. I go to watch Reading Football Club every
Mhm.
week with my dad and
I wanted to
one
ask
of
you
our.
actually, do you play or
I just
you just
watch them.
watch?
I
Yeah.
just watch them. I'm a season ticket holder. I go with my dad and one of our close family friends, and we go home and away, and that's a really big hobby of mine, and I've done that since I was 8. That's helped in lots of ways, socializing and all, and food and noise. That's helped with lots of that side of things. I go to the gym
Hmm.
and I run as well, and this is all these things are really big for me because it forms part of a routine. I also go to music festivals, which I really enjoy, and it's really key to have that routine in place. And if that routine wasn't there, I would struggle. So it's a really good thing. And if there are changes to the routine, whereas before I would have struggled, like I have to have a plan in place so that I know that if there were changes, then I would know what to expect. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really good to have this routine.
Yeah, it's about being prepared and yeah, really knowing what to expect. One of the things I do with my daughter constantly is the warnings, so that she knows if a day is slightly different, then school school typical weekday is going to be quite similar, but if we do something different, it's about the warning and repetition so that she understands where we are going. So that's very important, and I bet it helps a lot with your mental health, and yeah, any
Yeah,
anxiety or
it
stress that you might build up.
it really does help with my anxiety and stress, and this routine and these hobbies are great for it. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Every time when you were talking about the football, I remember that I didn't know what a season ticket holder was when I interviewed you. And I asked you, so what do you do as a season ticket holder? So it was one of those, yeah,
yeah,
moments that I had that, yeah, actually quite funny. Yeah, I think from my daughter, she loves dancing, and she's now dancing every Saturday, and she's loving it and smashing it, and she makes me very proud. Yeah, every time she goes and I hear her amazing teacher telling me how about it how it went. But music always helped her since she was a baby. If she was having if she was crying, and sometimes it would take a while to soothe her and calm her down, I would put music on, and that was kind of magic. So yeah, she's very much onto music as well. And yeah, I love going to festivals, to music festivals like you. We definitely have that in common. And also the media background that I have, and
yes.
you also did
I also
your
did media in
college.
college. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that
And Alex, actually, he has a really good video on YouTube that you can tell us more
so
about
my
it.
video is called My Autism Journey, and essentially my it's essentially I made it in college, and it's showing my journey to college, but also talking about my autism journey. So it's it's out on YouTube, and it's a very good watch. So
Yeah, you should all go and watch it. And in the meantime, I just remember the other thing the second thing that I wanted to mention, which is going back to the professionals and to the community support. Yeah, I just wanted to mention Dr. JD Lai, who is a clinical psychologist, and she works with me as part of the Oxford Health Biomedical Research Centre, and she's been studying or exploring character strengths in autistic young people to change the deficit model, and kind of trying to bring the character strengths, the use of character strengths into daily life. So I took part in the study, and yeah, with the results, yeah, I just learned a lot about my daughter and myself, and how we can explore any of our strengths, and just make them, highlight them, even if they might be lesser strengths. There are going to be some workshops. Actually, I'm taking the opportunity to promote them, so keep an eye out on yeah, my social media, as I am advertising, if you're interested in it. um and yeah, I think that's
that's
we had some notes, because as neurodivergent people like to know what to expect. We prepared ourselves just to follow
yes.
some notes on the topics, but we think we covered pretty much all of it.